Assalamualaikum, dear learners. Welcome to this short video statement of the problem in a research study. I'm Dr. Farid, and this is my brief introduction. Well, first we need to ask why statement of the problem should be written in a research thesis or project or a dissertation. Well, here are some of the reasons. Well, it means that the statement of the problem. It helps, number one, provide focus and direction for the entire research study. Secondly, it contextualizes the problem within the specific context in which you are planning the research project. Thirdly, well, it helps understand the significance of the research problem. You know, the reader, by reading your statement of the problem, the reader of your project, of your dissertation, of your thesis, of your research paper can understand how significant the problem is. I mean, how worthwhile the problem is. Well, it also helps narrow down the scope of the study. Quite often, novice researchers may start with some very broad study and which ultimately may not be possible to complete within a stipulated time, or it may have other complications in future. So actually this helps you, the statement of the problem helps you narrow down the scope of the research project, the dissertation, or the thesis that you are working on. Well, it also helps justify the study based on previous studies in the field. Definitely, quite often, the researcher justifies his or her uh, area of the study with already conducted researches. We will discuss it further in types of a statement of the problem. Well, it also helps lead to from specific objectives and research questions. If your statement of the problem is well written, effectively written, it will definitely guide you to compose or make your research objectives, and then ultimately to go for your research questions. Well, what is a research problem? Well, educational research problem can be said that an educational problem that a researcher wants to investigate. Suppose you want to carry out a research study for your master's or postgraduate diploma or for your PhD, then that educational problem which you want to resolve, a solution which you want to, for which you want to suggest a solution, is actually a research problem. Well, we can see it in further details. The statement of the problem can be framed as a deficiency in existing literature. We know little, such as this is an example, we know little about the factors that lead parents to be involved in their adolescents' schooling. Well, it should be stated very clearly. It means the research problem should be stated very clearly. Broadly speaking, we'll talk about two types of research problems. The first one, the practical research problem. Usually, this practical research problem has two sources. The first one, these problems are generated from educational settings such as a school or classroom. If you're a teacher, because my context is English language teaching, so that's why I will be taking examples from English language teaching context. So, like they can be the researcher's personal experiences or others' experiences the researcher has come across. Like you can write a statement of problem which can start with your own personal experience that you have faced as a teacher, or you might even have faced as a student when you were a student, right? Or it can also come from the others' experiences, like we will see examples for both of them in the next upcoming slides. Well, the second source or second type can be research-based research problem. Well, In case previous studies have suggested that a research gap exists in the area and further research should be conducted in that area. The previous one was either you had experienced that or you had listened to somebody or heard somebody or somewhere in a discussion you came across. This one is based on the previous researches. They can be dissertations, theses, or research papers or other types of research projects where the researchers may have suggested that, okay, the area that you are going to take up should be researched further. So this type of research, which comes from the previous studies, is known as research-based research problem. Well, a problem statement can come from one or both of the sources given above. Your statement of the problem may come only from your personal experience. It may come from your personal experience and experiences shared by others, and it may come only from the research based source like what other researchers have suggested, and it can also have all sources like the statement of the problem you are working on. You may have some personal experience for it. There may be others experiences also, and you will require recent studies in the local context that will support your statement of the problem. Well, moving forward towards suggestions for writing a statement of the problem for your own study you are working on. Like the first one, as we have just seen, that you can write the personal experience related to the educational problem you want to study. If you have any personal experience, as it's not mandatory, discussed earlier. For instance, the problems you faced when teaching speaking in your classroom. So you can start with that, those problems that you have experienced or you may still be experiencing while teaching speaking skills in your classroom. Second, you can recall others' experiences you listened to or heard, if any, like your colleagues shared some of their experiences about teaching English language speaking skills, and you can recall they shared some of the problems while they taught. So you can take that also as a statement of problem. Well, the third one, you can have extensive reading of the area. Not you can, I should say, you must have extensive reading of the area you want to research, especially in local context, such as in the Pakistani context. We are taking Pakistan as an example. Well, if you want to carry out research on teaching speaking skills in Pakistan, extensively read on such as teaching English language in Pakistan, teaching all basic skills in Pakistan, and then specifically it should be focusing on teaching, speaking skills, because your target area is the teaching speaking skills. The last one, before you actually start framing or finally writing your statement of the problem for your study, you must read multiple statement of the problems in your area of research. These statement of the problems can come from the theses, dissertations, and research projects that can be available in your university or institution library. Uh, they can be available online on different universities' websites, and there can be some other sources such as ProQuest, etc., that have uploaded different dissertations, theses, and projects. And you can also read a sample statement of the problems from other research papers. But I'll recommend whether you go for theses, dissertations, or research projects or research papers, you should focus in your own area so that you can easily link it to your research.